Christian families, and I had to like kind of like randomly like seek out some of the kids in the competition teams and stuff like that. Oh wait, you're like me. We're all putting up this front for these ones. Oh, okay, cool. So we started finding like a little crew. It was like you couldn't say certain things like.
All right. Pay attention. We're gonna teach you something real special today. This is two coins with my boy Wally, then Ronnie, wherever you're at, we're at. Showing two sides of the same coin. Let me know what y'all think. 2 coins. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter today.
And welcome back to the 2 Coin Podcast. It's your boy Ronnie.
And I'm your brother Waleed, the other side of the coin. Today's episode is brought to you by Integrity because we are men of our word. And we're here like we said we were going to be. So good shit, boys. Good shit.
Good
Yes,
shit.
It wasn't just drunken talk.
Man, bro. Like, I'm glad we was able to get this. You know what I mean?
Right.
We got a very special guest today. You know what I mean? Mac, Michael.
homie.
I don't know. I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself. You know what I mean?
So yeah, my name's Michael, but I since I started working at SB2, I go by Mac, and it's kind of stuck. And my business is called Mac Pack Martial Arts anyway, so you know it's already my name, my business name. So I'm just kind of going by that these days.
Hell
sure.
Hell yeah.
So give the people a quick backstory around like, you know, where your story started to like where you are today. Like you said, a martial arts business.
I mean, I was born and raised in San Jose. Grew up on the South Side, and I was just a normal ass kid watching Power Rangers all the time, Ninja Turtles. So I was just that kid jumping up off the walls, trying to kick stuff all the time. Well, anyway, and actually, I ended up watching this movie called Only the Strong.
Yeah,
It's that capoeira movie. Yeah. But as a kid, I couldn't remember the name. And you couldn't just rewind shit back in the day. You had to wait till it came back on. Yeah. So the mom, that karate movie, she couldn't understand. So her boss at the time actually did taekwondo with his kids at this church program. So, hey, we have a buddy night coming on. Actually, it was a Valentine's Day buddy night. So I just actually celebrated 25 years of doing taekwondo.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. But yeah, I just started up one day, loved it. I didn't care what style it was. I was just doing it, just kept going, started competing forever. Once I got my black belt, I just never stopped. Even my mom gave me that out. She's like, I was like getting tired of it, want to do some like, regular normal kid stuff, get to hang out after school, whatever.
Yeah.
But she said, once you get your black belt, you can quit. But as soon as I did, I was like, man, I started teaching.
When did you get your black belt?
03. Started in 98, got my black belt in 03 when I was 13.
That's what's
Damn,
up,
98 to 03. That's like, what, 5 years?
Took me 5 years. Took most of my other people's a little bit shorter than that, but I was doing other sports during that time too, so I would take small little breaks, so I wouldn't test as often as everybody else.
Got you.
5 years out, finished it up, and got to my black belt and just kept going.
So you started like early when you were a kid.
Yeah, I was 7, about to be 8.
What would you say is the difference between like starting like martial arts training early versus like later in life? Because like, just like little personal like off spin here. I'm 27 years old, right? It's not that I don't know how to fight. It's just that like I want to be able to hone some skills and keep them in the tuck just in case. You know what I mean? So I've been flirting in my head. Maybe I want to start like a boxing class or something. Maybe some type of activity to where you're like fighting. What's the difference between like starting young versus starting older?
I mean, I've been teaching since 03 too, so seeing like with the kids, it really just depends. Everyone's really different, but like with a kid, you can kind of mold them into what kind of, how to do certain things a little bit easier than adult. Adults we're stubborn. You grow up, you get to your ways, your body is how it is. So it's like, it's hard to really kind of shape how adults do certain things. Yeah. But it's really just your motivation. Like what do you really want? Like with kids, if they like don't really want to do it, they're just kind of the parents are putting them something. Yeah. You're gonna have the hardest time. But if there's something, I want to learn, I want to get certain things down, your ability to adjust is gonna be a lot easier than other people's.
Okay. I was gonna say it's kind of like learning an instrument. It's got to be, because how they say like language instrument, like you teach it to a kid young, just because it becomes second nature quicker.
Right.
You know what I mean? Would you say it's like kind of like the same thing with martial arts?
Yeah, definitely. And it also kind of depends on like how the family already is too. Because if you have certain families that they're not athletic, like I have tons of families, they bring their kids in, but the whole family like they waddle instead of walk. So it's like their kids have those same type of tendencies. So trying to break that kind of like almost like genetic or nature type of like situation they already have going on. Yeah. But yeah, like once they're young, you can kind of break them of habits or kind of mold them into something better, and then it becomes second nature to them.
Damn. Okay.
So what inspired you to become a teacher?
I was always that kid, like in elementary school, no matter what, if like I knew how to do something and someone's like, oh, this person needs help, I'm right there. Like I would always raise my help people out. Yeah. And I've always wanted to help people. I thought about being a firefighter. I thought about being an actual school teacher because like I like helping people, teaching people stuff, but I also love just doing martial arts. And what's better than to help people learn to help themselves?
Yeah. Nah, facts.
So it's like you teach someone how to, be healthier. You teach somebody how to, fight, punch, kick, whatever you need to do, or just learn to avoid fights. Yeah. It's just like for most of the part of the stuff that I teach, it's not even so much you have to learn how to box. You have to. It's learning to be confident enough to just stay away from fighting.
Yeah.
It's crazy that you say that because, like, you know what I mean? Obviously, we had Don on the show before, too, and I talked to him a lot about it. And it's crazy. The people that know how to fight are the ones that are least likely to fight. You know what I mean?
They just laugh off any type of
you know
confrontation.
I mean, I've been working at SB2, and I've only, had like any type of contact of altercation period once.
Yeah.
But I've had somebody try to get in my face or threaten or try to fight with me multiple times.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go back and forth with you because I understand what I can do. I understand that I might get clipped with something. Like, nobody is special.
Yeah.
Nobody is above getting knocked out one time. And while I'm going to put myself in a situation where I can hurt somebody or I can get myself hurt. Plus, I got shit to lose. I'm not going to fight this guy because he called me a bitch.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I get arrested. I lose my business. I can't see my daughter. Like, no, I'm not going to do that for nobody.
That's something too I was wondering. So it's like, say you do get in a fight, you know what I mean? Then obviously say it ends up being bad and then police come, they got to, you know what I mean, do the whole interview stuff, figure out like what the details of the incident. Them finding out that you're a black belt, is there a different type of repercussion that you got to deal with?
So everyone's like, oh, you're a black belt, you're registered. Obviously, if they find out and they find that you're trained, they're going to hold you to a slightly higher standard. But it's not like super crazy. It just depends on how bad you beat somebody.
Yeah.
Like if I beat somebody up to a pulp and then you do the same thing to somebody else, we're going to get charged the same way.
Gotcha.
It's just they might, when we're getting charged or when we're going to trial for something, like that's what's going to come into more into play because I train, because I do certain things, they're going to look,
better.
I should know better.
Got you.
That's interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like
My whole life I always got like people come, oh, are your hands registered or are you in a database? It doesn't work that way. Like there is a database.
So talk
of us.
about that. Like what's the whole concept of getting your hands registered? Like what's that even mean? Like
I said, that's a myth. Like
there's no such thing.
No, like I talked to all these black belts in the world. I think what that was for like professional boxers. Professional boxers, when they became certain level, they had so many fights and they got to a certain level of boxing or proficiency.
Yeah.
It wasn't even so much a registered thing as that they were known. They were like on all these different leagues.
Yeah.
So like if they were out there knocking people out, they would be getting in trouble for it. And they would consider like assault because their hands were so fast, so powerful, so deadly.
Yeah.
But like my cousin back in like middle school stomped a kid out, got assault with a deadly weapon. It's just, what are you using? How are you using it?
Oh, because he knew how to fight.
Because he did karate for a little bit too.
Gotcha,
but like
gotcha,
all it was
gotcha.
like he stomped the kid out. Anyone's gonna get the same type of charge. It's just,
Damn, they calling my legs deadly weapons.
Hey, that's kind of like a dope little, you know what I mean?
Consolation prize.
Yeah. Yes. That's wild though. What's out of all the times that like? So how many years total have you been an instructor now? Have you had your gym?
Well, as soon as I got my black belt in 03, I started teaching, and my instructor, he started kind of paying me on the table. Here's somebody, here's somebody.
Teaching at 13.
Yeah. Well, because I knew my stuff, so I knew how to do the warm ups. I could run the beginning of the classes. I think by the time
Reminds me of KD, bro. You remember?
Oh yeah. Shout out to homie kid.
We got a homie, same exact thing. You know what I mean? Fucking started early, black. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's a black belt or not, but I know he trained at it. But anyways, go back to what you're saying.
But yeah, so by the time I was like 14, he was like, hey, if you want to, I'll pay you some money, a little money on the table, a little cash here and there. So I just started teaching for him. I did that all throughout middle school. High school, I took a break. But even then, I had like an offshoot program where I was helping underprivileged kids learn karate. Yeah. And at first, I was getting a little bit of money here and there, but then I just started doing it on the weekends for free for the most part. And then once I became 18, I started working for one of my friends who trained in the same place. She was paying me. Then I think another year later, my instructor hired me on as a full instructor, so I was just teaching for them. And then 2016, I finally took over the business.
Oh shit! Okay. Damn, so you got like 13 years experience before, and then
and I was blessed, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, I put in my dues. Like, there's a lot of things and I had to put up with as a young man growing up to become an adult that I didn't necessarily want to do, but I knew what I wanted to be. Yeah. So it's like I had to, if they said run, I ran. If they said jump, I jumped. If I had to do things I didn't want to do, like there's times I had to like make kids cry with like letting them know, oh, we don't want you doing this, or we don't think you should go to this competition, but I had to do what I had to do, and then it all panned out for me in the end because, I was pretty blessed the way I was able to get my studio. It was going to be like a payment process. But then after a few years I was paying them, my instructor was like, you know what? Our debt's cleared. You're good. That's yours.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's a blessing, yeah.
I mean, at times I kind of felt like, man, do I really deserve this? But like the way that I've kind of grown, the things that I kind of put in, it's like, you know what? I do deserve this. I need to keep pushing. Like, I'm fortunate as hell. Yeah. Fortunate as hell, but like, I do deserve what I got, and I'm gonna keep pushing, try to make this shit grow the way I want it to.
Fuck yeah, man. I mean, everything happens for a reason, bro.
Right.
Nah, facts, bro.
And that's why I like when you say this episode's brought to you by Integrity.
Yeah.
Because in Taekwondo we have the 5 tenets, and integrity is the first one.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
that's what I try to teach my students every year: integrity, perseverance, self-control, indomitable spirit, and courtesy.
What's the third? What's the fourth one?
What did I say?
Abdominal.
Indomitable spirit. So you have it's a spirit that can't be broken. Like no matter what, like you can get defeated, you can get pushed down, all this other stuff. You get mad, angry, upset all you want, but you're not gonna break, and you're not gonna change because of it. Like somebody like everybody that gets fucking broken up with.
Yeah.
Oh fuck these bitches, I'm done. And they become a whole dog or a whole like a fucking hoe.
Yeah.
That's not an indomitable spirit. You change because you got hurt. You change because somebody tried to break you, and then now you a dog. Now you an asshole to other people.
Yeah.
But if you got heartbroken, you lost, you got defeated, you know all this stuff goes wrong for you, but you maintain the same person you are.
Yeah.
That's an indomitable spirit.
Yeah, like you gotta shake that shit off like it's nothing.
Yeah,
People
like
aren't supposed to
you
eat.
could you could change your decision making, you can change certain tendencies, but you don't change who you are. You don't become a jade or a whole new person just because you got hurt.
Gotcha.
Indomitable spirit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, those are like
we go.
5 tenets that you could really live by in just regular life and translate that.
And that's what I tell my
every
students. Like
aspect.
being a black belt don't make you a superhero. It just means you're trying to do better. And like it's not better than anybody else. You're trying to be better than who you were before.
Got you.
I feel like, bro, those type of principles too, like it's good that I like that you said that you teach a lot of like underprivileged youth, right?
Yeah.
So
We've
that's
done that
really
before.
because I mean like people that come from like broken homes or like single parent households, like they might not have grown up with like a father or something to like tell them those type of things, and they need like a medium like that to be able to really like get those like with like some of us who've grown up with a father in the house, like we're lucky enough to just get like a cheat sheet of everything that he just said.
Yeah.
But like other people that aren't maybe as fortunate as the rest of us, they got to go through some shit like that to really like really learn that. And that's like
Yeah.
that's taking the hard way, or you could take the easy way out in life and end up like in the streets or whatever, but like taking the hard way out, like that's really commendable for me, bro.
Yeah.
So I salute you for that, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. What's I was about to say, just I mean, in your time like teaching or whatnot, you know what I mean? Have you ever had like students that kind of like stuck out, like, you know what I mean, like prodigies, child prodigies, stuff like that have came through your gym?
I mean, I trained with this guy. His name was Marcus back in the day.
Yeah.
Man, he was phenomenal. He was a super amazing fighter. Like he trained with us, and then we had this guy that he's still in the area. He would actually like talk to other like students from different places, and they had good relationships so with the instructors. So like he would actually take these students that had like high promise in fighting. Maybe one day would go to the Olympics. My boy Marcus, like I never saw him lose. For years, he was faster than all of us. When we trained together, I was getting better. Like I used to be able to hang with him, but he'd still beat me no matter what. But like I get some shots on him.
Yeah.
He went and trained with this like special team. Came back, nobody's touching him. He was faster than anybody else, and he hated getting hit. So he was just faster than everyone else. Got everybody. But the sport evolved. So Olympic Taekwondo, the way that we train for competitions, it evolved, and then everybody was getting faster. Everyone was getting to like that kind of that same type of style. And once people started kind of matching him, he was like, I'm done. I was like, man, like, so I didn't train him, but like train with him, it was kind of weird. Like that wasn't even his passion though. He was just a freak athlete.
Damn, he's just naturally good
Just
at it.
a natural athlete, naturally good. And like one, it was like, oh, you know what? I was having fun winning. I was having fun not getting hit. Now it's done. I was like, you know what?
I'm cool.
I've done my deal. I've won the gold medals. I've gone to I've done all this stuff. I'm good. He focused on basketball after a while.
Damn.
Yeah.
Now that
I'm done with this side mission now.
Yeah.
Let's go over here.
But
yeah, so he
man,
was just nice at like all sports then, huh? Just one
yeah,
of those type of
yeah.
people.
He was one of those guys that put anything in front of him, give him like little time, he'll get it. That's how he was.
That's
But yeah,
hella
like
funny.
now the kids that I teach, like I've had some kids that they're really good. Like they have some skill, but they're not. I haven't had like a student that's like, oh, they're about to go to like this high next level just yet. But it's really just the times. Like I've talked to just different other school owners. Like the times that we live in, it's very rare that you're finding some of these students that are just like, we're the next level, because kids have kind of changed these days.
Gotcha.
Like the motivation, that drive to like really go.
Yeah.
It's really hard to find nowadays.
Damn. Okay. And that's crazy to think about. I mean, shit. It makes sense though. Shit. Every generation slowly like adapting. Plus, you add the whole technological age that we live in right now. So it's. It's wild. Like seeing the change in like even like little. I forgot who I was talking to the other day. Like even like lingos that kids be having these days. Like bro, I be feeling like an old head. Like what the fuck did you just say?
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I be catching kids saying shit that we said back in middle school and high school.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, we was ghetto. Like we grew up in a hood. I know you ain't from a hood. Like, why are you speaking like this? Like, why are you saying these words? Why are you talking like that?
Social media.
Because when I was doing Taekwondo, my mom used to tell me, or when I was a kid, she's like, do not talk the way you talk. This is a church program. These people do not like grow up like, and it was like for the majority, it was very conservative Christian families. And I had to like kind of like randomly like seek out some of the kids in the competition teams and stuff like that. Oh wait, you're like me. We're all putting up this front for these ones. Oh, okay, cool. So we started finding like a little crew. It was like you couldn't say certain things. Like, dude, I'm a big Harry Potter fan. One time I said that, and they all looked at me like I was evil. Because they were them like, oh, you shouldn't be listening to or reading Harry Potter,
like
or you don't go see that
shit.
movie. It's
Blasphemous.
It's yeah, and like all this stuff is like, the heck, like I thought we were cool, like it's just a book, but I had kind of like learned to kind of like go into that world and come back and forth to like just kind of like dealing with different types of people.
It's crazy. Code switching even in Taekwondo. Like
It just depends on where you are, because whoever the majority, they hold the power. So you kind of have to like play their game sometimes. If not, you ain't gonna be happy in their world, and that's how it is.
that
You
part-
gotta
that
find a
part.
way to blend in wherever you are. Unfortunately.
I always tell people the first interaction with anybody needs to be the most professional, proper way of doing things, and that's how you get to kind of feel out how people are.
Yeah.
Because when things get comfortable or the way that they greet you, then you kind of see, oh, this is how we can be. This is where we can kind of go.
Yeah.
That's something I for sure like have been trying to teach myself, and like I've obviously gotten better at it. But like I used to be somebody that like, here's all of me right off the jump, and then I'm like, as you get older, you're like, you know what? Not everybody can handle that.
Yeah.
And then two, it's just like you said, like your first representation is usually the one that lasts. Is usually the one.
It's the
that
first
sticks,
impression is the one that matters the most.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, shit. You're not the things you say. You're not the clothes you wear. You're the decisions you make, and you're how you treat others.
Yeah,
It's how it
that's
is. So it's like if you can just, hey, I don't know you. Hello, how are you? And then you feel somebody out, then you can kind of start speaking however you want and kind of test those waters too.
Yeah.
People like you said, code switching.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, but it's like you just got to feel people. People are different.
Yeah.
People are different. And how are you guys really going to connect if you just kind of go off into this whole area and leave them over here, and now they're kind of left out like, oh, I don't know if we can connect in the middle anymore.
There's a feeling out period. Pause.
Yeah.
Nah, for sure.
But you know what I mean? Like there's like a whole like, let me feel this person out. Let me see if there's somebody that I could really vibe with or not.
Right.
Yeah.
For some people it takes longer than others. Like I'm the exact opposite, bro. Like I used to be somebody who like took way too long to like see if like I trust this person or not.
Yeah.
And it would make me seem like standoffish or put some people off.
Yeah.
So I had to learn to like not take myself so serious per
Yeah.
se. And yeah, so it's like kind of like it's finding that balance. You know what I mean?
100%.
I mean, that's why I kind of love, being in football back in the day, baseball, then doing Taekwondo, because all those communities were different. Because, you had some spillover for some things, but, like, everyone's different. Like, baseball, heads, like, they only play baseball. They're not the same as the people that only play football.
Yeah.
Then you have, like, the athletes that can do everything else. And then, like I said, like, I was around a lot of Christian conservatives in the Taekwondo program because it was a church program.
Yeah.
And then my master, he was a, hardcore Christian man. He taught Christian values. They even worked at a church, everything. And it's like I was going to all these different places. I was learning to kind of interact with so many different people, whether I either had like kind of watch what I say or learn what I could and couldn't do in certain areas. So
Yeah.
as an adult, it's like I can navigate through most communities or most things.
Yeah.
And not everyone's that fortunate as a kid. They kind of get stuck in like one little bucket. So it's like you venture out. It's not that you know how to act. It's hard to adapt.
I was gonna segue into the next topic, so
No,
I'll let you ask your question first.
Nah, bro.
Right over the head.
You feel me?
So I mean, you mentioned like being an adult and like lessons learned from like as you've kind of grown up being a teacher in martial arts, Taekwondo. So one thing that both hosts here have yet to experience is fatherhood. We were talking a little bit off air about kind of your personal situation. So what are some life lessons like aside from martial arts that you took specifically from fatherhood?
From fatherhood,
Yeah.
man, my daughter's barely about to be 2.
How old are you, real quick?
I'm 32.
32,
I'll be
okay.
33 in April.
Okay.
And then she's about to be 2 next month. But the lessons I've learned from being a father is that you're never ready for being a father.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because nothing matters but that little girl. That little girl is the only thing that matters. Like, there's so much things that I want to do, but I got to think of her first. And being a teacher kind of really helped me know what I want for my daughter and what I don't want for my daughter. Like before I had a kid, I used to tell everybody, like even as a kid, I was like, I want to be a daddy. But like I was like, I want to have a kid, and everyone's like, once you be a father, you're gonna be completely different. Once you have a kid, you're gonna be completely different. And that really wasn't the case. I was on top of the diapers. I did everything I needed to do. Like if I was the one getting up in the middle of the night when the baby was crying, like I was doing whatever I needed to do for all that stuff. But it's like teaching all these different types of kids. Like I love all my students, but there are certain things that these students I just don't want for my daughter to have to like.
Yeah.
I don't want her to get those tendencies and these other there's things. So it's like I get to kind of guide her the way that I need to, and no matter what I do, it's only gonna be like 10% effective, because she's gonna do whatever she wants. She really is. Like she's gonna pick and pull from whatever we teach her or whatever we do, and she's gonna just take it and run with it on her own. Like we wanted her to be like very like affectionate and loving. She is, but this little girl is independent. Independent. Like I take her to the park, she's nowhere near me within 10 feet unless I run after her. And like she's just everywhere else doing all the other stuff, and she doesn't need me. She doesn't scream for me unless it's other like situations like with certain people. But it's like she just will be on her own.
Damn.
It's like you could do everything in the world for her, and you don't want her to do this, you don't want her to do this, but she's gonna just pick and pull and just kind of do whatever she wants and kind of absorb the way that it absorbs. You can just hope for the best.
Yeah. Damn.
So when you say like nothing else matters besides that little girl or boy, if you have a boy, that goes back to something I was thinking about earlier, where you mentioned like a lot of today's kids, like the generation, they don't have that little extra oomph that they need in order to like take that drive. A lot of that comes from, you know, as you grow up, you know, there's certain things that you don't want to do, but you know they're good for you in the long run, right? So like, say for example, like I want to get this degree, right? And like I'm taking this hard ass class and I don't want to do this fucking homework right now. But like somewhere in my mind, I gotta find, okay, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? That's like, there's certain situations in life every day where you be like, all right, I don't want to do it, but I gotta do what I gotta do. Even just getting up and going to the gym, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, would you say that, I might be completely off base here, but would you say that once you have a kid, that type of mindset is easier to like tap into? Like I gotta do what I gotta do for my daughter, or I gotta do what I gotta do for my son, and it doesn't matter how you feel about it.
I think so. I think that it's just motivation.
Yeah,
like before,
exactly.
We're talking about motivation
That's
earlier.
the
It's
short
like,
version, yeah.
It's just what motivates you is what's really important. Like you said, go to the gym. I had a gym membership for years and I barely used it. And I like going to the gym, just it wasn't that important to me. I didn't care. Like I didn't mind being chubby. I can run, I can move, I can kick above my head. Like I didn't really care about it too much. And then like just recently, I just kind of got on that kick, and that motivation is different. But as soon as I knew that baby was coming, man, my motivation to be the best father I can be was right there. Like I'll change the diapers, I'll do whatever I need. I won't go out if I have to. I'll call out of work. If whatever I need to do, I'll do for that little girl.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing it this whole time. Like I will make sure, like I don't even wait for her mother to even like really have to ask me to do certain things. I'll just try to make sure I do it. Oh, I'll do it. Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Like I just try to, and she's the same way. She's a good mom. She does the same thing. Like whatever we can, because that motivation to be there for her is unmatched by anything else.
That's beautiful, bro.
That's crazy, because then it gets you thinking, like, the people that aren't in their kids' lives, especially, like, from a dad's perspective.
Right.
Could you even imagine that?
So my goddaughter, I love my goddaughter. Unfortunately, I don't see her as often, but I just, did a whole nice little date with her just recently. Just I want to make sure I'm there for her. I'm in her life. I'm not there. Well, her dad and I used to be best friends, and then all of a sudden things happen, and, they ain't there. And once I have my daughter and I'm holding her, I'm here, I'm doing all this stuff, it's like, how the fuck, dude? How you not here for your kid? Like, but then again, I'm older. I had my first daughter when I was 30, 32, or 30, whatever. But I am older, so I did it. I got married first. I had my daughter with my baby mama now. But we did everything the way that you're kind of supposed to. But we wanted this to happen. Obviously, when you have them really young, it's a little bit different, you're in a different mindset. So I can't talk too much smack about it. But just thinking it from the point where I became a father, it's like I couldn't imagine going away from her. When I do have to take trips over the weekend, it's like, ugh. Just recently, baby mama went on a trip, and I was working all weekend, so it just made more sense she stayed with my grandparents or her grandparents.
Yeah.
But like, I woke up, it's like she's not there. I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Yeah.
So then I take care of some business, and I went straight over to her. I was like, I'm gonna go right there because I have some time. I don't need to hit up my boys. I don't need to go do this. I got some time. I hung out with her. Then I go ready for work. It's like, I want to be in this little girl's life. I want her with me as much as possible.
Yeah, man, that's what's up, bro. Like I have a couple of friends who have kids who tell me the exact same thing. Like your whole world changes as soon as you have them.
Yeah, but it really just depends on the mindset you're in when you first have it.
Facts.
Me, like I said, when I was a kid, like I remember this day in kindergarten. Freaking, they had like, what do you want to be when you grow up? and all putting like their different professions, stuff like that. I put daddy. I wanted to be a daddy, and I was in kindergarten saying this shit. Like, so again, like I don't want to spill too ill on people and like what they did and their choices, but it's just like that's what I've always wanted to be. And when it came, it's like I can't imagine. Like even like with my dad's situation, he was always there, but like in a back room somewhere. Like he wasn't really like there. He has his own issues, all this stuff. It's like how you not like trying to go everywhere? How you not planning your life around this?
Yeah.
And I got way more respect for my mom now too, raising me the way she did. It's like she working crazy ass hours, basically raising us by herself for the most part, and like still getting me to my practices, getting me to all my stuff, taking us on trips. When I make it to nationals, we're flying, staying out there for a week. Like she's doing all this stuff. And it's like, man, like now having that kid, it's like I understand a little bit more, and I have more respect for that now.
Do you see yourself like doing a lot more for your kid, in the sense of like you wish your dad did for you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to overdo it either. Like I'm not one of those hover parents. Like my daughter falls, she starts crying. I don't run over to her. I make her come to me. I tell her to take a deep breath, and she like once she does that, then I'll pick her up. But it's like I want to be at those games. I want to be there. I want to teach her stuff. I want to allow her to grow. I want to allow her to do the things she needs to do, but I just want to be there. Yeah. Like, I want her to always know that no matter what, just over her shoulder, I'm right there if she needs it. And if she don't need it, keep moving forward.
You think it's easy to fall into the trap of being like a hover parent? Because there is like a big emotional connection.
Oh, yeah. The first time I saw my daughter just trip and fall and smack her face, like, I was like, you're okay. You're relaxed. You're okay, good. Let's go. You know, got her up, and I looked at that thing, that mark on her forehead. Once I put her down real quick, man, I cried. Damn. I cried because just seeing my daughter and I'm trying to be tough. Like I know the parent that I want to be, and I'm not like suck it up. But it's like, okay, relax, it's okay. Like I'm trying to be cool, like calm. Because if I get upset, I get crazy. It might make it worse for her. She might be more afraid. So it's like trying to be cool. Yeah. But then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, whew. And then my tears just started. It was an emotional day for me, man. Damn. Because like I want to be there, but also you want to be there. You want to like grab her and say it's okay and like kiss and all that other stuff. It's like I know what I want to be as a father. I don't want to be that hover parent. Yeah. So it's like I said, like I have those kids. I teach kids, and you could tell which ones are overly sheltered. I have one student where like he just does not listen, and gets attitude. Like and anytime you start to direct at him, what? And it just kind of kills in. It's like, and then he starts saying certain things that are a little disrespectful. It's like, and one time I got in his face about it because when you're new, I'm nice. Yeah. But once you get to know me a little better, that's when I start getting really stern on these little kids. Yeah. And like I got him, like I was on him, and he starts crying. I said, those tears don't work here with me. Mommy and daddy are gone. I'm your daddy right now. Okay? You're gonna stop that. You're gonna go in there. You're gonna do your drills. And then after, his parents come pick him up. I walk straight up to the parents. Made your son cry today. And they're like, what happened? So he was doing this. He started getting attitude. I got in his face and I said, hey, you're not going to do this. He starts crying. I said, suck it up. And all of a sudden, I tell the parents, and I asked them, have you guys ever spoken to him that way before? And they said, never. And then they looked at me, thank you. Like there's been times, like I've been teaching for years. There's been a couple of times, sometimes the way that I am with kids, parents have had an issue with, but it's been more rare than common. Like I've had way more parents appreciate where I am nice. I try to make these kids laugh. I try to get to their level. But as soon as they run out of chances, and I don't tell, you have one more chance. In my head, you have this much time to kind of act right.
Damn, that's crazy because like that means the parents knew like what their was their behavior is making them, but like it's like but they love them so much that they can't help themselves. You know what I mean? So it's like because everybody's different.
Nobody knows how to parent. Nobody knows how to parent. Like I've been working with kids for years. Like if you work with kids for a long time, you might have a better idea, but nobody knows how to parent. So a lot of times when people are taking their kids places so they can do sports or learn certain things, they're hoping that they can kind of help shape their kids. Like any martial arts, every martial artist that has a school they're teaching, their parents are coming to them, they're asking them like, I want my kid to learn discipline, respect, self-defense. So these are things that you are not teaching them or you can't get through to them. And so when we give it to them, there's got to be a fine line though, because I've had parents who are like, yeah, I need them to, to be disciplined. If they act up, get on them. And then as soon as I make them cry.
Now it's a problem.
Yeah, I had this one lady, she used to just praise me. I was only like 15 at the time too. I was a young man, and she would praise me. You're so good with the kids. I love how you don't put up with their garbage, all this stuff. Then all of a sudden one day her son was not getting it, was just not getting it. I was like, no, it's like this. And what I would do, I'd be like this, pop, this leg, and he just wasn't getting it. And like all of a sudden, like after the class, he goes to his car, starts crying. He was yelling at me. Oh my god, I couldn't get it. Blah, blah, blah. And then I got a nice, lovely letter sent to my boss. How much of a monster I was. It's like, how would I get all this praise from the way I was teaching students and kids, doing the, not treating your kids any different.
Yeah.
But the one time your kid needed the same type of tough love and he couldn't handle it, now
it's a
I'm the
problem.
monster. Like, I did have to make some adjustments because, again, I was a young man. I was 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
I wasn't an adult yet. There's some adjustments that had to be made. But still, it's like, sometimes parents want certain things, but then they also don't want to see their kids cry.
Yeah, man.
Damn, that's crazy. That's like a fine line you kind of got to deal with.
It's balancing everything, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I say. Shout out to teachers. Shout out to anybody that has to work with kids, students in general, because it is not an easy job.
It takes a lot of patience.
You have nothing. Patience is a virtue because it ain't nothing but individuals.
Yeah.
So many different individuals who have individual parents that have all these different. Like I've had parents where they're on completely different wavelengths.
Yeah.
This one wanted me to be struck. This one said, be nice to my baby. Like it's completely different types of worlds.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
How big is like the average like class group that you usually like deal with?
All over, man, because certain days are slower than others. Like my Friday classes, I might have one kid, and I'm working with one kid on Fridays, and they rotate. They never come to the same day. I have like these 3 kids that sometimes sporadic come to that class, and they always get a one-on-one session. Then I'll have a class of 10 to 15.
God
then
damn.
depending on the because we have different types of training. So we have kids training for their black belt. We have kids training for competitions, and right now I have those ones working together.
Yeah.
So on Saturday mornings, I'll have like damn near 15, 20 people in the class.
Damn.
And then I used to do like offshoot programs or different summer programs. And right here at San Jose State for this program called Upward Bound,
Yeah.
I would do a self-defense class throughout the summer. And they would have almost 40 people in that group. We'd be in the kinesiology gym and just have 40 people.
40 kids or 40 like young
Teenagers.
adults? Okay.
Yeah, it'd be 40 teenagers out there. I'm teaching them all
That's
stuff.
a lot of personality.
Man,
Man, fucking juggle, bro.
I've had to do all different sizes of different things. Like I've had to do a lot. They threw me in the ringer at times for different stuff, but I figured it out.
You ever tried to turn into a pro fighter?
No, I got injured real early. I think my first knee injury happened back when I was when I was 11, and then messed up my. You know what? I didn't mess up my back. I just got an injury sped up. So I had an infection in my back as a baby, and they cleared it. It was all gone, but I guess it left scar tissue. So I got hit in football one time in the hip, and we thought like the pain lingered a little bit longer than it was supposed to, but after a while it went away. And then I got kicked in the back in a competition when I was in nationals, and it just messed me up. Like, it was hurting, and then I get these random pains and these sharp pains that made me fall back down to the ground for a while. And we couldn't figure it out. We thought it was a deep bone bruise. And then after I get into high school, we had me get an MRI, and they realized that the disc got smaller.
Oh shit.
So they're looking at all the different stuff, and it started gradually getting smaller. So I had early degenerated disc disease. So that just means that
Damn.
disc is just wearing down earlier and getting smaller and smaller. So I have 2 options. It's going to go away, and I have to get something I have to get it fused, or it's going to atrophy at a certain point and stop, but it's just going to be this barely moving piece that's smaller than the others. Yeah. So I've done physical therapy. I've done we get cortisone shots every once in a while.
Yeah.
Those actually last me pretty good. But lately I've been just working about strengthening my body overall, and my back's been the least of my problem. But back to your question is I wanted to I wanted to go pro. I either wanted to try to train for the Olympics for Taekwondo, or I wanted to go pro, and I was getting better. I was getting decent, and then with the injury I had, is how am I going to do that? I can't barely kick. I can't even stretch no more because I can't even touch my toes. Because
Damn.
the nerve damage from the back thing, I can't bend over all the way. So it's I had so many injuries or issues with it. Yeah. Why am I going to try to go pro? Plus, I just loved teaching so much. Yeah. That was really my priority was teaching, and I wanted to go pro. I wanted to do all this other stuff, or at least try it out. Yeah. But it's if I do that and I can't, I can mess myself. I can't walk no more. How am I going to teach these kids? Yeah. And that was where my passion was at.
That's what's up, man. You found your passion early. That's a blessing.
Yeah. How many people at 13 be I'm going to be a karate school owner, or I'm going to be a business owner one day, or what you want. Yeah. I would always tell people, man, this has been a journey since, as soon as I got my black belt and started teaching classes, I was I knew what I wanted to do. And I've been pushing that, and I got it. And then now I have different phases of places where I want to take it. But it's I knew what I want. I've been sticking with it, and I'm here, and I'm still moving.
That's what's up, man.
Bro,
Onwards and
kudos-
upwards.
Yeah, kudos
Thank
to
you.
you for actually doing that, because not a lot of, I don't even want to say not a lot, bro. Damn near nobody. knows
Majority
what-
of people,
yeah, don't know what the fuck they want to do at 13, let alone stick through it all the way through.
Let
like,
alone 21.
Yeah, 30. A lot of people at 30 don't know what they want to do,
Yeah.
bro.
that part too. And then here you are, what, 17 years later,
It's a
or
blessing, man.
19 years later.
Something like that.
Yeah, so
Good shit, man. Keep going, bro.
Appreciate
hell
it,
yeah,
man.
bro. Changing the fucking future one child at a time.
All right, Ronnie. I'm gonna segue and kick it over to you to ask our last two questions here.
All right, my guy. So, kind of asked Court this thing when she came on here. I figured it'd be a fun little thing to talk about. And plus, you know what I mean, the
Make it a
headspace.
little spicy.
You feel me? Kind of like the headspace that you and me, we kind of, like relationship wise, kind of went to this whole little single boat around the same time. Obviously, you coming from a fucking 10-year relationship, that's hella different than, you know what I mean? But who you think are more toxic, men or women?
That's a loaded ass question.
It is loaded above.
Like, for real, I think people in general are toxic.
Yeah.
Mainly because nobody really deals with their shit. If you don't deal with your shit, you ain't gonna be able to really deal with anybody else outside of stuff. So it just depends.
Facts.
Like I have people I'm close with, and I know you're the most toxic person in the world.
Yeah.
And then I've seen things in situations where you're just toxic in general. Like the female's toxic.
Yeah.
And I even think in my situation, it's like neither one of us were toxic for each other on purpose. It was like it just things weren't working out at certain times. So it's really hard to say who's most toxic. Now, if you want to if you want to generalize and shit and the way things are, obviously, who had the most power in the world for like the last 100 years?
Man.
Who could do whatever the hell they wanted? Who was trading these girls back in the day for property? So it's like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could say that we're more toxic because it's like we want to run shit.
Yeah.
But then you have some people who are good men out here that aren't really doing that same shit that other dudes are out, and girls out here taking advantage of them too.
I'm not gonna lie though. Like, to be completely honest, them good men are the minority.
Hey, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
Yeah, at least in this generation.
Yeah.
Hey, I consider myself a pretty good man, but again, I'm not perfect.
You're a good man. You're a good man. I consider myself a good man.
But
We don't-
somebody could
but
look at
we
me
all-
and be like, "Hey, no, you ain't."
Bro, but you know what's crazy?
All objective, man.
Everybody
Exactly.
got toxic traits. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Sometimes we have toxic moments. And I personally feel like, damn, bro, somebody could not be toxic, get with somebody, and it brings out the toxic in them.
And see
you know
what-
what I mean?
That's
Situations.
facts. Yeah.
See, what I want to say is like everybody's toxic because, like I said, nobody wants to deal with their shit, their emotions, dealing with their issues. If you're not dealing with your issues, toxic shit's gonna come out. You are acting like a hoe because some toxic shit happened to you before, and this is the best way to deal with it. You're a fucking hoe ass dude, a dog, an asshole abuser because some shit happened to you. You couldn't deal with it. This is how you became. That's why shit. I'm on a platform right now. Get therapy.
Yeah.
Man.
Therapy, y'all. Like if you're not talking to somebody, not I talk to my homies all the time. No, talk to somebody that has no connection to you or the people in your life because they have no reason to say, "Oh yeah, you're right," or "Hey, fuck that bitch." No, they're looking at what you're saying, how you're saying it. They're asking you questions, pulling things out and objectively giving you, guidance or pathways or things you can do instead of you just like, my homies are always gonna take my side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, but people are gonna take your
It's like
side
a
in your
crowd of yes
face.
men.
Yeah.
Hey, like people will take your side in your face and then go back somewhere else and not take your side out, with the other people.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to talk to somebody that has nothing to do with you. So if you have the ability, not everybody does, but if you have the ability, get some therapy. Even if you think things are good,
Yeah.
get a session. Say, hey, I just want to see where my head is at. Have them ask you some questions, see where you're at, and really find out, are you good? Are you handling things the way you should be?
Yeah.
It's like the gym. We
Yeah.
keep bringing that up. Why are you going to work at your body but not your mind? And it's not
Facts.
just trying to get smarter, okay, because sometimes being smarter ain't always good for your
Yeah.
mental health.
Yeah.
It's about, okay, where am I at? What's my thought process? How am I handling and dealing with things?
Yeah.
Am I doing this thing for my benefit, or am I doing this thing so I can run away from something else?
To piggyback off that though, like I would say like a lot of people probably can't afford therapy, right? They can't just drop everything and like book a therapy session. I would
Right,
say like
right.
the diet version of that. Obviously, it doesn't give you everything that therapy gives you, but one thing that fucking changed my life was like meditation, mindfulness meditation.
Yeah.
Like that in and of itself will at least get you on like the path to like digging deeper within yourself and being like, okay, why did I behave like that? And digging to like the root cause of, okay, why did I feel like that made me behave like that? And then you can like dig deeper and find layers and root causes to why you have certain patterns. And like, it just gives you an opportunity to step outside of your own thoughts and emotions and observe them rationally where like as a therapist is an actual person outside of your thoughts and
Right.
emotions, like knowing what's happening. But I think mindfulness is like the diet version of that. And I think if you could start on that journey, you could eventually end up in therapy and be like completely healed. And I feel like people need to take that journey first before stepping into like relationships and like thinking they're ready, because you're not ready unless you truly, fully, and completely know yourself.
And
you
so
know?
going back to what I do, so before every class, we say baro makyum. Baro means go at ease or back as you were. Makyum in Korean is, or from what I was taught, makyum in Korean is meditation. So before every class and after every class is a short meditation session. So all we do is take the biggest 3 deep breaths we can, and that's it, and before and after every class. So I tell every student, it's about clearing your mind beforehand, and then after you get the information, you do it again to collect the information, lock it down, so you take it home with you. But it's like meditation is important. Like you say, like it's a diet version, but a lot of people think of meditation as like this spiritual thing, and it's like this, like, because sometimes we get it from like the TVs and shit like that growing up. It's really just training yourself to take deep breaths and relaxing your body so you can make calmer, cooler decisions.
Yeah, and
That
just
is-
sit still. Like
Just be still.
like a lot of people like, I mean, we do live in a hectic world, right? So we don't really find, like, we fill up our schedules with so much different things and activities, and like 2 o'clock got to be here, 4 o'clock got to be there, 6 o'clock got to be there. You don't really have the time to stop and sit and like wonder where your headspace is at. Mindfulness gives you that time to sit down, or therapy gives you that time to sit down and really like work through your thoughts, you know?
Right. I mean, shit, people that, like, 'cause for me, like, I couldn't just sit down and do nothing. Like, I would sit down, try to meditate, and then all of a sudden I'm like, in my head,
You get restless.
what am I doing? I'm just breathing. And then all of a sudden you start thinking about other shit. So they have tons of guided meditations.
Yeah.
Like, for real, they have guided meditations. Like, even the RZA, he has these guided meditations on
That's
iTunes.
dope. Yeah.
And it's him talking, like, about, being mindful or working on being more creative. There's other ones that just tell you what to do and in and out, and you're focusing on what they're telling you to do instead of trying to do it on your own. So if there's no excuse, do it on your own. Get your music. Find some nature, just be in some silence.
Yep.
Or these guided meditations where someone's telling you what to do. They're reminding you to breathe, or they're giving you things to think about as you are going through your meditation.
Yep, for sure. And the guided meditations, what they do is they teach you how to do it, so you could eventually just
Do it on your own.
kind of learn to do it on your own. But yeah, not like cheap plug here, but I downloaded the Calm app just out of after seeing a commercial, and it really helped, man. Like, for real.
I heard good things about that app. I keep hearing about all this stuff. I just never downloaded it because
Headspace, too.
Headspace is a good one too. On Audible, there's like this podcast with, who's that basketball player? The ginger that did comedy.
Blake Griffin.
Him. It's his podcast, but I think it was they had the guy from Headspace on there, and I think it's kind of sponsored by them or something like that. But he talks about that one a lot, and I hear good things about that one.
Yeah, for sure. So Ronnie, what was you said? The first question was, who's more toxic, men or women, right? Yeah. Your answer was everybody needs to
deal with their own issues, because that's why you're toxic.
Yeah.
Okay. There ain't no man in this world who's a dog just because he was born a dog.
There's reasons that led him to behave in that way.
Like everyone's cool at the beginning, but then you start seeing things, you start doing stuff, and you start like internalizing certain things you either experience or you see, and instead of asking questions, instead of dealing with the emotions or the thoughts in your head, you just start running with this, and it's just easier to do certain things that tend to be toxic.
I'd say it's a mix of people not dealing with their shit and like social media really running rampant with this whole men versus women gender war corny bullshit that's going on.
Yeah.
To where it's like, there's no nuance with social media anymore. There's no like context to anything.
Exactly.
It's just that, women get mad at men for doing this. Women fucking suck. Or men do this. Men fucking suck. You know what I mean? You can't just generalize, man. Like, that's why I can't say like all men are good or all men are bad or all women are good or all women are like, there's shitty people and there's good people. That's it, male or female.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me. I don't know.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That entire shit that just happened with this phone kind of threw me the fuck off.
No, it's good, bro.
Like, the video from the other one's not even loading back up right now, so I'm kind of like,
Damn.
It's good,
either
bro.
way, this was actually an amazing pod, and I'm hella mad that the fucking video ain't there.
No, it's good. Shit happens,
Damn.
but we'll close it out with one final question.
Shit, yeah, go ahead.
How do you want to be remembered? / what would you want people to talk about in your eulogy?
I had a conversation with one of my homies the other day, and he said, "You have been the same solid dude from the time I met you to right now in this moment." And if that would be my eulogy. Someone said he was the solid dude from the time they met me to the time I'm in the grave, I'll be happy. Because I'm not saying that I'm not gonna change. I'm not gonna change who I, grow and stuff. It's like I want to be the same person who treats everybody with the respect and the I want to have integrity.
Yeah.
Like I want to be the person where you know what, I can't look back at Mike and be like, oh fuck that guy.
Yeah.
And some people will. I've rubbed people the wrong way. I've made mistakes. I've made some bad decisions. So I know some people look at me, but I try to always say, I own up to my stuff. I try to make up for certain things. I try to just treat people with respect.
Yeah.
And if people can look at me as, hey, he was always solid from day one, I'll be happy.
That's what's up, man. It's all about character, bro.
I know that's right.
But hey, we definitely appreciate you for coming on the show, man.
Nah,
Thanks
for
for giving
real.
us some good content.
Thank you.
Hell yeah,
Michael.
man. Thank you for having me.
Hell yeah, bro. We for sure got to run this one back. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Get an actual video pot going.
Damn. Yeah, that shit happens, man.
You feel me?
But yeah, let the people know where they can find you on social media, Twitter, IG, etc., etc.
Shit, IG, I'm down as Jiggy Mac.
It'll be down in the description
Yeah,
for y'all.
Jiggy Mac, and then Twitter. I don't even remember. Let me pull this shit up actually real quick.
Well, we all here.
Shit.
Man.
But actually, if you guys want to check out my studio page, it's MacPack, MAQPACK_MA, MacPack Martial Arts.
Okay.
So
We'll
that's
plug that
my
one
business page. You can see all the videos of us training, my kids going a while and stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
But then actually no, Jiggy Mac is my Twitter. My Instagram is BFAM_Lil Bear. That's BFAM_LILBEAR.
Bada
Easy.
bing, bada boom.
We're going to have all that. And we got another one in the books.
Yes, sir.
You feel me?
Good shit, boy.
Well, shit, man. On behalf of the 2 Coin Podcast, it's your boy Ronnie.
And I'm Waleed, and we are signing out.
Yay!
Yee.